Welcome to TRC Transmissions. My name's Chris. I'm the sales manager here. I wanted to thank you for considering using us for your remanufactured transmission needs. Today, I just wanted to talk through a little bit about what it looks like to do business with us, how easy it is, and ways to make business more beneficial for both parties. I wanted to start by talking about getting quotes. One of the first things that happens here, if you dial our phone number, there is no automated system.
Thank you for calling Engines and Transmission. For core pickup, please press 1. For warranty and technical service.
Thank you for calling TRC. How may I direct your call?
We live answer. We're a family-owned and operated company. We pick up the phone if you call. Generally speaking, we're going to have you with price and availability in 2 to 3 minutes. All we need is basic vehicle information or a VIN. That helps solidify it. As far as continuing with ease of business, every quote's going to include freight round trip. We do memo billing on the cores. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later, but what that means is that we don't bill you up front for the core. We trust that you're going to allow us to pick up the core. So we send you the bill of lading to your email and the core comes back to TRC. I look forward to discussing a few more things with you here in just a minute. Let's talk warranty for a quick second here. I wanted to go into our 3-year or 100,000 mile warranty. We offer 2 different packages. The only thing that changes is the amount of reimbursement if there's an issue, if something isn't perfect with the transmission. So our standard warranty, the normal quote you're going to get from TRC is the 3 years or 100,000 miles, but it's going to reimburse in that scenario, if it's not right, at $120 an hour Mitchell book time. There's no cap on that. It's not stopped at 10 hours. If it's a 14-hour job, you get paid for 14 hours. We also cover a little bit of rental and a little bit of towing at $125 towards each. If you choose to upgrade to the premium warranty, we go from $120 an hour, same Mitchell book time, no cap, to $160 an hour. We also increase rental car from $125 to $350, and we're going to take towing from $125 to $250. So you've got those 2 options to choose from when you purchase from us to make sure your customer is covered. This is a nationwide warranty. It goes with the car everywhere in the country. It's not just to your shop. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about our core process and memo billing. This means when you purchase a transmission from us, you do owe us the core, we do require that back, but we try to keep this as simple as possible for you. So we memo bill it. You will see it as a charge on the invoice, but we do not actually collect money for that core. There are some prerequisites from us though. We work a little bit on the honor system here, but we really don't want to come back after the fact and ask you for money for that core. So I've got a couple examples I want to show you of cores and damage and what we're looking for. Part of our core process where we try to make your life easier is the memo billing, where we're not billing you up front for the core. We do require a core and we do need a good case. We need a rebuildable core that we can go through once we get it back. I've got an example here of a transmission that has a pretty major break in the bell housing. Even some of the smaller breaks that you see on these transmissions, they're still not reusable to us. If you look at the quality of the product that we delivered to your door, there is no welded case, there's no repair. The cases are like new. That's how we operate, that's how we do business. So please, before you release the car, before you send the transmission core back, do a thorough visual inspection. I've got a couple other examples to talk about here. So the transmission you're looking at now is a Dodge Diesel 68 RFE. The input shaft snapped. That's the cause of failure on this transmission. It looks like the customer was making too much power and probably towing something that they shouldn't. A combination of both is our guess. When the input shaft snaps like this, it destroys the pump. The pump is a component that's not sold by Chrysler. You can't go buy another pump. So it actually wipes out the entire core. The core is no longer good to us. So this is just one example of something to watch out for. The other example here is just damage on the backside of the transmission. The extension housing can have damage too. In some scenarios, it's the overdrive housing for a Dodge gas transmission. There are charges associated with broken parts on the outside. We have to have reusable components that fit our standard. So please, before you release the car, make sure you or your technician's doing a thorough inspection of the core for any possible physical damage. If you find something, call us. We'll give you our actual cost on replacing it. You can collect the money from the customer before you release the vehicle. We really don't like asking for money after the fact when the car's gone and it's got to come out of your pocket. Okay, next, I want to talk about the cooling system and dowel pins. These are a couple issues of concern for us. Every shop has a little different process for how they take care of these systems. I know that we have a couple times a year, we get a core back with a dowel pin in it, And it leads the question, does it pull out with your finger or do we have to heat it up and yank on it? If it comes right out, chances are pretty good it's not in the transmission, right? So please make sure the dowel pins are there. They're really crucial. They're important to the perfect alignment of crankshaft through converter through input all the way through. Over time, you can have issues with torque converter leaks, input shaft seal leaks. Dowel pins are vital, so make sure that those are swapped over. That's step one in the install process. The other common issue that we have is the cooling system for the transmission. I've got some really cool displays here, some stuff we've cut open. I've got a radiator from our friends over at Moose Radiator. My buddy Dan there's awesome. Take care of any of your needs with that stuff, but he loaned this as a demo, and then we've got our own cutout bottom tray to the radiator. So this is an example of a cooling system for the transmission that is in the radiator. So the bottom portion, right, the top portion's dedicated to cooling the engine, right? Warm coolant goes in here, cooled coolant comes back out here to the engine. Everything's on this path. As that cooler fluid flows through the bottom here, we have a little tiny transmission cooler sitting inside here. I've got this one cut open to show you what this looks like inside because this is really crucial. So in order to slow the fluid down so that it stays in this long enough to cool down, the manufacturers have put a mesh channel in here. So you can see the inner tube. The fluid does not flow through the inner tube. The inner tube is designed to force the fluid through this outer section and this mesh wire. So as we talk about a transmission failing, as we talk about a transmission breaking down, you get metal debris, you get clutch debris, you get brass from the converter, you get all sorts of junk flowing through this tiny little channel in the transmission cooler. Now there are a bunch of ways to try to clean this system out, and we're going to talk about a couple of them here as far as what TRC regards as acceptable. There's a company that does a fantastic job with their product. We do believe it's a good quality product. It's called Cooler Clean. I've got it right here. We have seen Cooler Clean not work. We have seen it during situations of heavy debris. It can take the path of least resistance. And if we have a transmission that does not have cooler flow or has a whole bunch of foreign debris in it, we have a whole separate conversation about the warranty. We really don't want to have that conversation, right? We want the transmission to have the best chance of life possible. And so I want to set you up with a couple recipes for success here. Under light debris, Cooler Clean will do a good job. And again, this is kind of on you to decide whether you want to use this or not. We have our recommendations for how you should do that. So I'm going to go over a couple of them here. One option, most transmission shops have a hot flush machine. So when we ask, do you have a hot flush? We're not saying, do you have a flush machine? We're actually asking, do you have a machine that heats a chemical fluid that cycles back and forth through this? So it hooks up the two cooler lines from the transmission side and it cycles heated fluid back and forth through this machine. So hot flush is a fairly unique system. I believe you can buy one for about $3,000. They go up a little bit from there depending on the quality of the machine you want to use, but that is a method that we believe in. A hot flush will actually allow you to tell if the cooler is not cleanable. You can decide, hey, this is not salvageable, but for the most part, a hot flush will get rid of the debris, and we've got a brand new type cooler to hook up to. That's an acceptable form for us for our warranty. Second idea, this unit is pretty crucial to the runnability of the car, right? So replace the whole radiator, just put a new one in. It helps the engine and it gives you a brand new cooling system that there's no worries about cleaning out the debris. You can use Cooler Clean to clean out the cooler lines. It's fantastic for that. We absolutely believe it's a great product for that. But where it gets tight, right, that's just replace it. Just get a brand new radiator. The most of them drop in fairly easily. The third option we stand by is a bypass cooler. So it would mount in front of the radiator. There's a bunch of generic brands. We happen to like TrueCool specifically. We've had basically zero failures with them in the last 30 years. We've sold a ton of them. We think it's a fantastic system. It comes with all the mounting brackets to attach it to the front of the radiator, and it comes with extra hose to redirect the lines to that. Any of those methods are acceptable, but please make sure we have a clean cooling system for that new transmission. I wanted to also help get everybody familiar with our warranty process. We do a lot in the terms of making sure our transmissions get to you and they are good working transmissions, but nobody is perfect. We're going to put all the updates in the transmission. We're going to replace every worn hard part. We're going to dyno test the transmission. We do a lot to make sure these get to you in good working order. However, our tests, everything we do is not real world. It's not a car, right? Nobody is perfect. So if you have a situation where there's a problem with your transmission, we'd love for you to call us. We've just added a warranty initialization form to the website. So you can go on to our website, go to warranty, fill out that section. It will get to Scott. He's running our warranty department. Or you can call in and he'll send you a physical copy. We can email you or we can fax you a paper copy. It's crucial that we get as much detail on this form as possible. We want to make sure that we are taking the most decisive action to fixing your concern. There's a lot that happens in a car. We're not perfect. We don't presume anybody else is perfect. We want to diagnose the problem thoroughly and make sure that whatever we're doing is going to fix it. So please, the more detail you can give us on that form, the faster that we'll be able to get you an exact answer to the problem, get you the correct parts, and get your customer down the road. Once we've fixed the problem, we're going to ask for you to send the parts back. We need the defectives, right? Most of the time it's going to be a complete transmission coming back to us. Once it gets inspected, we're going to review our own file here to see what happened, whose fault it was. Was it human error? Was it a parts supplier? Most of the time it is, right? Was it something we could have caught on the dynos? We're going to go through our own process of trying to improve, but at the meantime, we're going to close the file. And when we close the file, that means it's going to come to me and I'm going to sign it to turn in to get you a check cut for labor reimbursement. Generally speaking, I'll also call you at that point and say, hey, here's the labor check. Here's when you're going to see it. At this point, as we're getting you paid on this, we know no matter how well a warranty is handled, it's usually not a fun experience. Any feedback you have for us, anywhere we could have improved, we would love to know. We want to be the best company possible for you and your business and how you operate. Let us know. I will take a call anytime. Again, my name is Chris. I would love to hear from you if you have feedback. Thanks for hanging out with me here for a few minutes. It's my hope that this video gives you enough information about how we operate to feel comfortable moving forward with TRC.